All right, when you're working with color and work preparing your color to go on your paper, um, like I set up my palette, I set up the whole palette, so I have all my colors available. They dry out. However, if I add water to them, it reconstitutes them, and then I can add as much water as I want depending on how thick of a wash I want to make. The first thing I do is I wet my piece of paper in the area that I want to paint, and while that is drying a little bit, you want it to kind of saturate into the page. Okay, so this I use a spray bottle to add water to my paint because I can control it a little better. Okay, so now I've got this much. If I put a lot of water in it, then I get a light wash. If I add more paint, it gets darker. Like this, you can see. Okay, so I can mix colors out here, like when I'm making a dark green, I'll take some sap green and let's see, I believe this is the Indian throne I want to use. No, that's not the right color. This is the color I want to use. Okay, so I've got some blue and I take some green until I get it to the right color that I want, and that gives me a dark green. If you're doing glazing, you want to add more water so that you get a thinner wash. And then when that's dry, then you can add another layer of the same color, or you can add another layer of a darker color, and you can just keep building layers that way. Okay, so now that these layers have dried, I can add another layer of paint, and I do the same thing. I wet it, and on this one I'm going to add this light blue. And I did a very light layer there. I'm also going to I'll try this blue, and I'm going to make this layer a little bit heavier. And I'm going to put it on here. And then I'm also going to bring that down here on the green. What I want you to see is how these, just by layering color, you can create new colors to fit exactly what you want. And by letting it dry before you put the second layer on, then the colors don't mix completely together. You have that underneath layer in the first color that shows through, and it doesn't give you a muddy color. It gives you some vibrant, and you get to see it becomes more jewel tone. You get to appreciate the transparency of watercolor. Okay, on this last, let's see, I've got this one to do and this one to do still. And I'm going to add a yellow. We'll add a yellow here. And then we'll also add a yellow here over that light green. Okay, so now we let it dry again. Okay, so on this step, I want to show you, okay, so this is 2 layers of color here. And we've got blue, or we've got the pale red, then a blue over that, a darker, the same color red, and a darker blue over that. And then this was the same red and then a layer of yellow. This was the blue and a layer of yellow. And this was a, no, this was a green. This is a green and then a layer of blue. And then this was a pale green with a layer of yellow. So I'm going to do another layer on each one of these. And then I'm also going to show you how, if I were to do the same color combinations and to mix them while they're still wet, then you can see what the difference is by allowing your paint to dry in advance. Okay, so this, we've got a light layer of the red and then a layer of blue, and then this is a much darker red, same color, it's just a heavier wash or glaze, so to speak. All right, same thing here. This, we're going to put that same color over this combination, and then here we're going to do as well and then I'm going to take that red over here and I'm going to add some blue over the top of that. Oops, I didn't want to do that. While it's still wet. And so then we'll be able to see what difference it makes by letting it dry. And then down here, I'm going to take some more of this green and go over the top of that. And then the yellow, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use some of this green. And then down over here, I'm going to take some green. This is the sap green. And then I'm going to add some blue on that. And here we started with a very light green layer and then we added some yellow. I'm going to put some more green on there though, because I want you to see the difference. Okay, so now we let those dry. Okay, so now we have, I'm going to do one more layer of blue, blue, yellow, yellow. Okay, so we're going to wet it. Yellow, 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 yellow. This is, okay, so this is blue, green, 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 green.